Hello, you are welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about communication systems. Communication systems are systems that allow us to transmit information from one point to another. Basically, they are used in a wide variety of applications. These applications include radio and television broadcasting, cellular and satellite communications, computer networks, and industrial control systems. A typical communication systems will consist of the following components, of which I have named components of communication. So, as a component of communication system has about 5 main components. The ones that I would like to talk about are the one listed below here, over here. The first one is the source. In communication systems, the source is the device that actually generates the information to be transmitted. For instance, when we have a telephone or a smartphone, we consider it as your source of voice signal, and a television camera is also a source of video or signal. That's what we call a source. So in communication system, before you proceed with anything, you need a source. The next one is a transmitter. You can't do anything without a transmitter in communication systems. The transmitter this transmitter here converts the information from the source into a signal that can be transmitted over the communication channel, right? So for instance, when you have your information and then you want to transmit it from one point to another, you need to get a transmitter that is going to do that or help you with that. For example, a radio transmitter converts an audio signal into a radio waves in order to be transmitted over a very long distance. So that is transmitter over here. The next one I want to talk about is the communication channel. Among all, after getting a source and also a transmitter, you need a communication channel. That is a medium of your transmission. Let's assume that you want to send an information from here to someone in Australia, and therefore after getting your source, which is what is generating the signal, and also getting your transmitter, you need to know or be aware of the medium that you want to transmit the information. In communication systems, the communication channel is a medium of which your signal is being transmitted. So for instance, the communication channel for a radio broadcast is the air. If someone wants to do any radio broadcast, it's through air. That is the communication channel. And other ones also have their own medium of channels that they transmit informations. So let's look at the next one. The next one is the receiver. This is the receiver. After getting your communication channel, you need a receiver. You can't just transmit information for the transmission's sake. You need a receiver. You really need a receiver. Who is going to receive your information? That is very, very important. The receiver converts the signal. This receiver converts the signal from the communication channel back into the original information. For instance, a radio receiver will convert radio waves back into audio signal. So if you have a radio in your house and you want to get an OKFM from a very long distance, you are not going to hear what is actually being transmitted, but there should be something being done in order to get the original information which is being transmitted, so that you are not going to hear any kind of noise. and we talk about them in no time. And the last one that I want us to talk about, is the destination. Aside all, when you get a source, when you get a transmitter, when you get a communication channel, when you get a receiver, you need a destination. Where are you sending it to? So in communication system, we will say that the destination is the device that receives the information. For example, a speaker is the destination for audio signal, and a television monitor is also a destination for video signal. That's what we need to take note of. Now, let's look at types of communication systems. In communication systems, it has been classified into two types, which is analog communication system and also digital communication system. Let's look at the analog communication system, of which in short I've written it as AXC. This ASC, which is analog communication system, transmits signals that are continuous, right? Signals that are continuous in both time and amplitude. So for instance, the audio signal from a microphone is an analog signal. Let's take note of that. The audio signal from your microphone is an analog signal. Let's also look at the digital communication systems, which is DCS. The digital communication systems also transmit signals that are discrete. So it transmits signals that are discrete in both time and amplitude domain. So the keyword here is discrete. If this one is continuous, then this one is discrete. So example, the data from a computer is a digital signal, right? The data from a computer is a digital signal. So analog communication have been around for many years, right? But digital communication systems are becoming increasingly popular nowadays. This is actually because digital communication systems offer a number of advantages over the analog communication systems. Some of these advantages include noise immunity. So in digital signals, they are more immune to noise than analog signals. So basically, this means that the digital communication systems can be transmitted over a very long distance, right? These DCS can be transmitted over a very long distance and through more noisy environments than analog communication systems. That's what we need to take note of. The next one that I would like to talk about, it's in terms of security. The digital signal can be encrypted to protect them from unauthorized access. You know, this is very important for many applications such as military communication and financial transactions. So in this case, digital communication system is very important. And the last one I would like to talk about or touch on is data compression. So for digital signal or communication system, or digital signal can be compressed to reduce the amount of bandwidth required to transmit them. So basically, this is very important for applications such as streaming of videos and audio over the internet. So now that we are done talking about the various types of communication system, of which we came to a point that there has been a classification of communications, which is analog communication systems and digital communication systems. And therefore, I would like to say that communication systems are an essential part of our modern society. And as such, they allow us to communicate with each other over a long distance and also share information and access entertainment and education resources. To be able to transmit an information over a long distance, there should be something that needs to be done. That's where modulation comes in.